So hi, I'm Emily, I'm running for VP. I think I'm a really approachable and friendly person. I just like to help out anyone in any way I can. We've got a few policies that I want to introduce this year. So I want to create an event especially for first years. I know we did a thing in induction week and we had that meeting at Earlham Hall, a little party thing outside. But I want to increase this, so to increase participation, especially with first years who don't participate in every aspect. I want to implement support groups for those struggling in different modules by those in older years who feel they can help out. I want to keep society aware of everything the committee is doing through weekly law bulletins, so put everything in one condensed place rather than receiving 200 emails. I want to attempt to expand the number of sponsors that we receive. So I've got some contacts where I live that I've said they're quite willing to introduce, like possibly the internships and work experience and stuff like that. Yeah, and I want to try and get a printing budget if I can. Like I'll try my hardest.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll try and keep it short and sweet, otherwise I'll be talking for hours. But firstly, I'm Alex Doe.
Yeah.
Something that I said in my manifesto, which I think is really important, is that there should be an opt-in forum about how we can progress the Law Society. Because obviously, I feel like the Law Society shouldn't just begin and end with the committee itself. I feel like if it's a society, then everyone should be involved. And improvements should be throughout the year, so if we started this forum, then it can keep progressing rather than just saying we'll do things at the beginning of the year and then rushing towards the end and realising that we haven't actually done anything to improve. What makes me different from the others? I do so much already. I'm the second year, I do more. This isn't like a dig at you guys, but I do more work as a second year. I have a part-time job. I get involved with sports and social, and I promise that when things get tough or busy, I'll be there to, and I'm confident I'll be good.
Yeah. So hi, so for those of you that don't know me, I'm Becky and I'm running for Vice President. So I'm just going to give a brief overview for my policies. I'm looking at making the committee more transparent and open so that you as members will be included more. I want to include you more so you have a choice as to what and when the socials will be. I also want to reintroduce the book sales and to further relationships with local firms we have, so introducing like a student versus firm sort of sports day and dinners and stuff like that more, to really build on those relationships. So I've got experience with working in committees. I've done a lot of charity committee work before. I've led a committee where people have been 40 years older than me. I'm not afraid to put my ideas forward. I've also dealt with sponsorships through that, so I've had to get a lot of sponsorships for charity work I've done, and these are all transferable skills for the Vice President, so I do believe I'd make a competent VP. Thank you.
Hi, so my name's Sam Arney. I think I've probably spoken to most of you by now, but just to give you a quick reminder of my policies. The first one is I want to use our Law Society cards to introduce extra discounts within the city and just extra discounts on campus as well, maybe. I also want to introduce a buddy system where second years and third years can help with giving notes to the first years if they're struggling, or third to second years. I want to create an event where people who are studying a year abroad can all meet up so they all have like someone to speak to, and so they know each other for when they return back on their fourth year, so that then they can feel back at home again. And I also want to find some sponsorship from either a local law firm for the printing budgets, so especially for like events like Mooting. And I want to expand the current number of links that we have with local firms, whether it be smaller firms or just another big firm. And finally, I want to try and establish some links with non-legal firms as well, in order to try and create variation in people that we have time with, and join the Facebook page.
Okay, so this is the point where I open up the floor to questions, so would anyone like to go first? Hell.
Is it just to these four?
Yeah.
If the Law Society was anonymously donated £1,000, where would you put it and why?
I've done it in school competitions, so I know we ran a mediation competition, a brief one. I really want to expand that because I've heard some really good feedback from people who went and they really enjoyed it and want to make it bigger. So in order to people spend time, all that sort of thing, and I think that's really important because it increases our career opportunities as well. So that's what I want to say.
I'm going to be honest and say I'd put it with the treasurers, because I believe that if you're in the committee, then everyone should stick to their roles, and if we get money, obviously, I feel like that's the treasurer's responsibility. And obviously, since you guys are voting for them, they obviously know what they'll do with the money more than I would, because I wouldn't have a clue at all. As Vice President, I would say that I'd make sure that everyone stuck to their roles, so no one's overstepping any boundaries, no one's doing too much, no one's doing too little.
So I would push for the money to be put towards networking opportunities. So I know a lot of other universities have weekly team meetings with different solicitors, and also branching out, so we have further people that aren't always necessarily interested in law careers, so we can introduce other non-legal careers that are also respected by a law degree, and to provide further opportunities with that. So I'd really be pushing for that with the money.
If I was given the £1,000, obviously it would go to the treasurer to then discuss with all of us. But the ideas I put forward is to help subsidise some sort of printing budget for the people, as I said earlier, and also maybe subsidise travel costs for events such as the open days at the London firms, things like that, and maybe help to subsidise events and maybe make it a little bit cheaper for people who might not be able to afford things like that.
So as Vice President, quite an important part of it is representing the committee, and you'll be talking to students on visit days. Why do you think that you'd be the best person to do that?
Being shown around some potential next year students, so I think that I already have some of this sort of experience in that. I feel like I'm friendly and approachable, so they can ask me any questions, and they actually were quite happy to come up and ask questions today, so I feel like maybe I have them sort of characteristics that they might see.
So I came from a family whose mum did her degree very late on in her life, and university was always sort of something that was not really discussed that much, and it was actually my friends that really pushed me to go to university, who came from a very academic background, so I do know what a difference it makes when you're showing people around and when you're talking about university experience, how that really can shape someone's life. So obviously I would use that and the things that they told me, so show them every aspect of the university, obviously show them the lovely Earlham. And I would use that a lot, and just showing them all the different aspects of the societies, as well as our law school and the support we offer here, as I think it's all best universities personally.
Part of my job is to talk to so many students every week anyway, whether I'm working at the bar or if I'm just doing general promotion for the LCR. So I feel like talking and getting people to do stuff is kind of my speciality. So I feel like I can engage with people, I can work with people really well, and that's about it.
So like Sam today, I was also showing students around. They were at AS level, and I've done it before as well. I love talking to people. I was answering any questions, telling them about every aspect I could think of about UEA, so I know I could do that. I can also represent the Law Society and the Law School in a professional capacity, as I'm a manager on a Sunday, so I know I can do that really well. And yeah, basically, that's me. I just know I'm approachable and friendly, and I know I can get a good response from people.
I have a question.
A lot of you seem to bring up how you're going to get people involved, in the social aspect and the Law Society's ideas and stuff. How are you thinking of doing that? Solutions to that issue? So a lot of first years don't come to social events. A lot of people want to talk to the Law Society about stuff, but they don't because they're a bit intimidated.
So is the question sort of how could you increase engagement?
Thanks, Adam. So yeah, one of the things I really want to do is, like I said, is increase first year involvement as well. So I think that will go up and up the university as we get older and go to second and third year. I think people are more approachable. So like my first year event, I think when I came to university, I knew of the Law Society because I was told about it in the induction week, but didn't really know who they were. It was quite intimidating, and I know I've had the response, that feedback from other first years as well. So I really want to make a really happy, approachable, friendly engagement activity for first years to come to in their induction week. I also want to do my weekly law bulletin. So to let people know what's going on, have it all in one condensed place, so I don't get loads of emails and just go, oh, I'm not looking at it. Just open it, carry on to the next one. And that's what I want to do.
Firstly, I try and put myself out there a lot more. First, I'm using Facebook now. I try and make sure students know that Earlham Hall is a place where they can just chill and just do their work as well. Because I feel like not many people, they just come here for seminars or they come here for meeting or client interviewing. I want to make sure people understand that you guys can hang out here. This is the law school and this is a place where you guys can relax.
So I would really focus on working with the social secretary, because I believe that that's where a lot of relationships are built with senior members of the Law Society. So if we can have more open socials that are more laid back, and so like the quiz nights and the bingo we had the other night, so if we can do them more frequently, then people feel more comfortable, and also if we can make it more open So if we can introduce, just putting simple things like with the publicity secretary, putting up the minutes of the meetings from the Law Society committee meetings online, so that everyone can access them, so you know where the committee's going and what they're planning to do, so then it's less of a barrier and less intimidating if you went to approach someone to ask about something because you're more in the loop. So that's what I do.
I think that probably the Fellowships may not have come to the social events as many as would have liked to have come. So I would probably focus mainly on trying to get as many meetings with them as possible at the start of the year to try and make them feel more welcome. And I think the best way to do that is to actually go and speak to them, get the members of the committee to go speak to them. And obviously, as Becky said a minute ago, work with the social sector to try and see what the Fellowships want to do and get them incorporated into the society.
If you were changing something of the Law Society, what would that be?
Just one thing though.
One thing.
As I said in my policies earlier, I would introduce an event or a sort of group that could incorporate all the people going on a year abroad to help them to meet each other and sort of have a little group of them so that when they came back they'd be able to meet with people that they already knew instead of having to start fresh. I think that's important to make them feel welcome back again.
Again, I'm just going to say about networking because I think more events should really be done in terms of increasing networking for people. And I think that would really help as well with what you were saying earlier with the slightly intimidating factor, because you can then, everyone's together sort of meeting different people and you can learn from the third year, second years. I think it would also make it like a more cohesive society.
So pretty much what I said earlier, I feel like Law Society needs more of an online platform. We're in the 21st century, it's something that's really important. Everyone goes online these days. How we present ourselves to other people is massively important. So I feel like we should do our best to enhance that.
I think my main thing would be to introduce support groups, like I said earlier, so it would help your academic work. It also breaks down those barriers with different year groups. Our second and third years have been lower years with their work. Also means you get a better degree at the end of the day if you understand something. And I think it's really important that it comes to someone your age, because I know sometimes when my friend explains something to me, I understand it so much better than when I'm in a lecture. When I'm in a lecture, and you get all this information crammed into 50 minutes. So yeah, that's ridiculous.
Ask the question. Hayley.
Okay, so all of you have said about how you want to advertise more about events and networking, especially to first years. So we currently have Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and the website. So what would you add? And something posted at least once a day on it. So plus emails sent out on behalf of various members of the committee. So how would you then further that to get people to come?
So like I said earlier, I want to do a bulletin. So I want to put all that information in one place, because I know, I've spoken to loads of people and they feel the same way. If I get 10 emails from Owen about different career opportunities that week, I just look at them and I'm just like, I don't know which one I'm going to do, what's going to happen. So I think I coordinate with Owen to put them all in one place so that people have one reference point where they're going to be rather than trawling back through emails and everything like that. And put it on the Law Society, all the Law Society pages.
I really like the idea of blog. I'm not sure if UEA Law Society has a Tumblr, but I feel like that's an easy way where you can regularly update them. You can time the posts as well to make sure that they actually show up every day at a specific time we want. So I feel like nothing would get left out. Everything would be there in one place.
So yeah, like Emily was saying, if you have a lot of emails, you do tend to ignore some of them. So maybe involving lecture shout-outs more, so having a student to come up and shout, just advertise events more because you're more likely to remember that. And also in Facebook, sometimes it gets a bit muddled, I find, when different people are posting different times, so making it clearer and making a set time from the beginning and a date. Next page maybe might be clearer than having it all on the committee's page.
I think that the actual current sort of online aspects are pretty good at the minute. They sort of seem to get the message across pretty well. But I think the way we can improve it best is by word of mouth. So perhaps, like they said, shout outs and just like maybe waiting outside the lectures at the start of lectures and just talking to other people. Try and get people to tell other people about what's going on and just trying to make other people feel. If they're more encouraged to do things, then I think they'll be more likely to come and get involved with it.
Everyone's been talking about making more of an online profile, increasing links with local firms, and improving the way we run things. Why don't we, or in your opinions, why haven't we made links with other law societies at other universities to find out how they run things? And also, do you think that's a good idea?
I think that it would be quite a good idea to speak to other law societies to try and just see how they do things differently and see if maybe we could make ourselves more efficient in any way. I wouldn't say necessarily we have to change things, but perhaps take on board things they say, maybe take different parts of their society and add it to ours in a way that could maybe make ours even better.
Yeah, it's a really good idea actually. I know from speaking to my friends that do law at other places that they have different ways of doing things, and that would be a really good idea to incorporate them. Obviously, increasing connections with other universities is a really good idea because you can have their ideas and different ways of looking at things. I'm not sure why it's not at the moment. I think maybe just because of there's quite a high workload if you're president or vice president or career secretary and things like that. There's quite a high workload. So obviously looking at how capable that would be and then choosing which universities to network with as well.
I do feel like that's a really good idea, but I feel like maybe that hasn't really come into question before because we're all sort of heading for the main goal. So we all want to be barristers or we want to be solicitors, or even then you can just do other stuff, but I feel like it's a bit competitive. Everyone wants to be the best law society. So I feel like that's why it hasn't been introduced, but there's no reason why it can't. This is what I was saying earlier about how other people who aren't on the committee can introduce ideas. So that would be really good to sort of listen to new things.
Do you know what? I didn't think of this and put it on my manifesto because it sounds like an amazing idea. One of the things, I think definitely, let's go for it, why not? One of the things we could do as well is not only talk to them, but also do inter-competitions, see how they do things differently, how we can pick up ideas, what the good things and the bad things, how they struggle with stuff. It'd be good to have a link with like close universities. So if you did want to do an inter-university competition, you wouldn't have to travel away up to Manchester or something. But yeah, that's what I'd like to do.
I want to know, brutal honesty, why I should give my vote to you rather than the others.
I've been on the committee before. I've done it this year as first year rep. I think I can do an amazing job. I'm a manager at Boots, setting up my own business, so I know I can time manage really well.
Boots.
I set up Boots, I'll be in the millions. But yeah, and I know I can do really well with time management. I'm really personable. I have loads of friends, like to talk to people, like to get involved. I just think I'd be the best at it, to be honest.
I feel like I can manage my time really well. So I already have a part-time job, I do sports, I have a social life, and obviously I'm second year, I have a heavier workload than you guys, and I'm still here and I'm still managing to get everything done. And I know that if I get it next year, I won't then turn my back and say, oh, I can't do this because I have this much going on at the moment, so I won't be able to get this done for you guys, I won't be able to get that done for you guys. I know that I won't say that because I'm already doing so much.
So the Law Society has been one of my favourite parts of the law degree so far. I've done client interview negotiations and with the Law Clinic Innocence Project, and I've really loved it, so I'm really passionate about making sure it keeps going. I've done a lot of work with charity committees, so I know that I can lead different committees, and students are a lot easier than trying to talk to 60 WI members and get them into work. It will be a lot more enjoyable as well. I've done lots of sponsorship deals, so I know that I will be competent in doing things like that, and I have got experience in it, so I'd love to show you all how I can do it.
I feel like I've got quite a good understanding of how the law school works at the minute from the first year law school board meetings, and so I understand what could work and what maybe couldn't work in terms of that. I feel like I'm quite a friendly and approachable person, so if any of you had any questions, you'd be able to come and speak to me about it, or if you had any ideas, you'd be able to come and give them to me and I could put them forward. In terms of why I should be Vice President, I think that I would be the best because I've entered all the competitions before, so I have a good idea of how they all work. I can manage my time because I've been able to do all of them before, and I just think that I would be able to do it because I could incorporate what everyone wants to be incorporated, really.
Okay, so this question is, the role of Vice President is one that is sort of quite shaped by the person who holds it. So what sort of Vice President would you be, and how would you work with the other members of the committee?
I'd look to establish quite a good, strong relationship with the President, whichever one of you two it may be, and then be able to help you maybe lower your workload and say maybe give some to me or help to sort of give it out to other people who it may be easier to give it out to. Can you say the question again?
So what sort of vice president would you be, and how would you then work with the other members of the committee?
Okay, and yeah, so I think that I'll be able to talk to the other members of the committee, and I think we could build a good, strong working relationship with them, and in doing that, we'll be able to be a stronger committee and be more effective in doing what we want to do.
So as a vice president, I'd be really organised. I would be there all the time at every meeting. I would be working very closely with everyone else because it is a committee, it's not a one-man job. And I think that's really important that you have a good relationship with the team. I'd make sure that anyone can come up and talk to me about any issues, and I would be really passionate about making sure that everyone's issues are heard. And if I was given a project, any project I would see from the beginning to the end. And also learning off the current committee. So the people that are here as well, they're already a really, really good source of information, so it'd be really good to learn off what they went wrong with and where I could then prevent that from going wrong.
Okay. First of all, I'm good at managing my time well. Secondly, I know that I can give people what they want. Thousands and thousands of students come to the LCO every day. If I'm working at the bar, I serve you guys, I give you guys what you want, or if I'm doing promotions or setting things up generally behind the scenes, I'm the foundation blocks of what you guys end up going to. So I feel like that's particularly important for the springboard as well, just having that organisation, having good ideas, and making sure people enjoy themselves at the end of the day. And secondly, I have friends currently who want to go up for certain positions. For example, Sam Porter, he talks to me about mooting and his current ideas and what he'd like to do. Also Alex with negotiations, he talks to me about what he wants to do and his ideas. I feel like, and I'd listen to them and I'd make sure their ideas and get done.
So I think one of the main roles of being VP is a supporting role. So I know that I'm good at that. I work as a Boots, I'm a manager, so I help all the employees that work under me on a Sunday on a regular basis, as well as their holidays and their personal lives on a regular basis. When they're drunk and they're coming in on Sunday morning, I have to deal with that as well. So I know I can deal with whatever is thrown at me as well. I'm also not afraid if someone comes to me with a real problem and I have to go to the Hill of Law School to sort it out. I won't be afraid of doing that. I'll stick up for you, I'll make sure stuff gets done, and yeah, I'm just really organised, so I think I can do that.
Okay, alright, well then can we have a round of applause?